came from a place, you were raised in certain, like, how does one become a VC, which is what you are basically?
Well, yeah, basically. So my company is, at the end of the day, it's a crowdfunding platform. So we help entrepreneurs, especially underestimated, which is Black, Latinx women, Black women entrepreneurs, raise the funding to start their companies. Um, and that kind of started, I think, just from a love for businesses. But I, when I first wanted to start my journey, I didn't know how to fund it. And especially as a Black man, how do you go about funding your business? And, Black women, it's even more difficult. I have no college education, no college experience, not a Y Combinator grad, or didn't go through any other accelerator. I kind of started my career out in banking. I was a teller. And then from a teller, they recognized my talent and being able to work with small businesses and with other entrepreneurs. And they moved me up, and eventually I became a financial consultant where I was working with a bunch of entrepreneurs,
So
and,
wait,
and founders
where
of
are you
small
from?
businesses.
Where are you from in the country?
Pittsburgh, PA.
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh, PA.
PA. Shout out to
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Appreciate y'all immensely.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh as well. So
Yeah.
you're growing up in Pittsburgh. You didn't go to college. What was that?
Yeah.
Because that's
Uh,
unusual.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't have the drive or the want, or, to me at the time, I didn't feel like I had the intelligence to go to college. So something a lot of people don't know about me is I actually skipped a grade. I went from third grade to fifth grade because, I was doing really well in school. And at the time, it seemed like I was really intelligent. And I still think I am. But once I got to those, high school, middle school and high school, I kind of just lost interest in everything that they were teaching. My parents were really heavy in teaching me about the Black Panther Party. I got the opportunity to meet Bobby Seale. I have a signed book by him still. African American heritage, African heritage. I loved learning about that stuff, but the stuff I was learning about in school just didn't intrigue me. And so I kind of lost interest. And to be honest with you, towards the end of high school, my grades just really slipped. So I didn't see college being a path for me. Plus, I didn't want to end up, 50, 60, $100,000 in debt. So kind of, 17 years old, I graduated high school and kind of just went straight into the workforce.
And so you're a teller. You have a great style about you, which is important. So
Mhm.
I'll often tell my students in college, your greatest gift will be navigating people, not what you learn, not any skills. I could teach you how to write, but your navigation of people will be the determining factor in your success. So I see you have that gift, right? So how do you go from being a teller, working with companies, to then say, I'm going to be a founder where I'm going to help people raise money for their companies?
Yeah. So again, it kind of went from I was a teller, then I got moved up to a financial consultant because I was so great working with clients. And a lot of the clients I worked with, the biggest thing I saw, especially for the underestimated founders, was they didn't know how to get the money to start their business. They were trying to take out loans, home equity loans, putting their lives and their financial well-being on the line to start their business. And it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, whoa, something's wrong here. And one day, I kid you not, I got a GoFundMe request from somebody who was trying to get their cat to have surgery. And, they needed like $10,000 to do so. And I was just like, why aren't we doing this for businesses within our communities? There's the GoFundMe's out there. There's, some other things that are big for tech companies, big time startups. I'm talking like the Ubers and stuff. But there really wasn't anything for the community businesses, the businesses that are going to have the biggest impact on all of our lives and on our daily lives. And so I just was like, I'm going to be the one to do this. Now, I come from Pittsburgh, PA, which is one of the most gentrified cities in the country. And, so I had that gentrification aspect on my mind the whole time. And I was like, okay, so investing in your community, the gentrification, and boom, I came up with Inventrify. I kind of married the positives and the negatives and put it together and said, Inventrify. Let's be able to invest in our communities and the things that are going to have the biggest impact on all of us. And that's, kind of where that was birthed from. And it's been 4 years now. And, the impact that we've had is kind of been tremendous. One of the things I'm really proud of throughout this pandemic is we had a Pittsburgh Black Business Owners Relief Fund that's been able to raise over $75,000 for Black businesses that were suffering in the Pittsburgh, PA area. Now we operate nationwide, but that piece being that that's where I was born and raised, seeing that kind of come to fruition from a company called Cocopreneur who created that campaign. It's just been so amazing, just to see it kind of from an idea in my head become reality into something that saved small Black owned businesses in the community I grew up in.
I was talking to a buddy of mine who's also in the space. His name is Peter Rojas. He started Engadget and Gizmodo, and he's doing funds.
Yep.
And he said, COVID has both been great for some businesses and horrible. Like a couple of his fund investments did not pan out. How are your investments doing, and what's your most proud investment in Inventrify?
Yeah, so I think everything's been, to be honest, it's been fantastic. I don't want to say this in a negative way or in a way that anybody will take offense to. COVID has been the best thing that's ever happened, I think, to our country and maybe to the world at large. And I say that because it's made so many of us rethink the way we operate, the way we live, and the way that we think about community. So, the deaths are terrible. I personally had COVID myself. Other people in my family had COVID. I've had to go through that. I know people that have died from this. But overall, as a country, we are going to come out of this stronger because of the Black Americans, the Black women, especially, and the entrepreneurs that have put forward that extra effort to say, hey, it's time to make that change. And so that's kind of what I'm so proud of. My investments have done very well. The companies that we've worked with, this Pittsburgh Black Business Owners Relief Fund that I was just talking about, that was created by a Black woman who has a company called Cocopreneur, has done phenomenal. We've saved literally 10 to 15 businesses, Black owned businesses from that fund alone. Saved. They were going to be out of business. They would be out of business today if it weren't for that. I may not have a huge return on investment from that, but what I do have is the knowledge that I've helped save businesses in a community that I care and love so much.
Give me one more business that has done well under your tutelage.
Yeah, so there's one called the Urban Twist, and it is kind of an online knowledgeable, or it's a online knowledge base, I would say is the best thing. We've been able to help them tremendously. I mean, just with some funding and also with the, I've been able to work with them one-on-one, and their founder, Brennan Jones, who's actually based out of Baltimore. I've been able to work with them one-on-one and kind of help them along their journey of growing and what they're creating. So working with these two has been kind of a personal project of mine, only because I believe in them so much. But there's been, probably over 100 just in this year alone that we've had some type of an impact on.
Well, guys, follow him, Brandon, which is official Brandon. That's your official Brandon. Official B Brooks. I'm sorry, official B Brooks, and also at Inventrify, Inventrify. You go to inventrify.com to check them out as well.